Hello guys, welcome to the 3D market commentary today. Let me put the disclaimers up there in the top left hand corner. Please read them, even if you need to pause the video to do so, just so you understand what you can expect from these kind of videos. Now the market commentary for today is for Monday the 11th of April. And what we'll do is we're going to expand on an email that we send out every day, Monday to Friday, that goes through major market elements, major market statistics, and for 3 separate elements. So that's why we call it the 3D market commentary. So we'll go through the relevant data, of course, for today. If you have any questions or if you have anything that you want to clarify, you can email me, Becky@tradewithufos.com. There's also support@tradewithufos.com. And there's also a link you can go to, tradewithufos.com/Becky. That'll take you here. From this link, you can get different apps and platforms. You can book one-on-one coaching. And if you scroll down, you'll see a bunch of questions and answers. So you should find answers to your questions here. If not, you can log in for free and ask a question there. Okay, so let's bring up the email that we send out every day so I can show you what that looks like. That's our news flash, that's what we call it. And all of the relevant information on the left on our email is, of course, coming from the markets themselves. So we've got a chart up on the right-hand side to help with that. So the 3 main elements that we go through. First one is market climate. Market climate essentially means what's the likely upcoming market direction? Is it likely to go up? Is it likely to go down? Or is it not really likely to do anything? So we'll look at that per market by looking at AutoClimate. AutoClimate is a free app on most platforms that you can get it on. And what AutoClimate does is essentially show us where those probabilities lie. It shows us in the form of these thick or thin different coloured dots. Ignore the lines, focus on the dots, and this is where we get that information from. So if we have a thick red dot, like this one here, that tells us probability is down. If we had a thick blue dot, that tells us probability is up. And if we have a thin dot of either colour, that tells us probability is in neither direction. So we'll look at that per market. We'll then look at buy and sell UFOs. UFOs in this context means unfilled orders. Essentially, where are the buy orders that could push price up? Where are the sell orders that could push price down? And where do we find them on a chart? We use an app called Auto UFOs that helps us with this. The little green UFOs with the prices highlighted on the right-hand side show us where the buyers are. And the little red UFOs with the prices on the right-hand side show us where the sellers are. So we'll look at that per market as well. Then we'll look at market volatility, which essentially means how quickly we expect these markets to move. So we'll look at each of these elements for each of the markets that we look at, starting with the S&P 500, which is the top 500 US stocks, and we are on a daily time frame, or daily charts for each of the markets that we're looking at. So with the S&P 500, we have a thick red dot, probability downwards. We have buyers here between 4406.75 to 4320.25. So if price were to get there, we would expect these buyers to push price up at least a little bit. And we have sellers slightly further away between 4606 to 4574.75. So we've got sellers up there that if price were to get up there, we would expect those sellers to push price back down again, at least a little bit. For the time being, we have current probability to the downside and a little way to go before we hit buyers that could change anything. So probability down. In terms of volatility, we would expect that the S&P 500, top 500 US stocks, would go up or down in 1 year by 22.48%. So in a day, that's 63.82 points. In a week, 140.49 points. And in a month, 292.45 points. That's either up or down. So that's the S&P 500. Moving on to the next market, which is oil. Now, just to highlight here, just as we squidge oil a little bit there, just to highlight up here about the different courses that we offer. We do courses in futures, stocks, forex, backtesting, trading plans, and psychology. Most of the courses come with a 3-month complimentary access to the apps as well. Now, AutoClimate, this one here, is a free app on most platforms that you can use it on. But Auto UFOs, which is this one here, shows us where the buyers and sellers are. That's a paid for monthly subscription. Depends on which platform you use as to how much it costs per month. You can subscribe directly to the Auto UFOs by themselves. You don't have to have a course. You don't have to subscribe to a course in order to use the Auto UFOs. You can simply subscribe directly to them. However, often it's actually cheaper to get a course and get the apps for 3 months than it would be to just use the apps. So check that out. Okay, so crude oil, thick red dot, probability down. Now, we have been going down slightly longer than we would do normally, so bear in mind that we're slightly overextended to the downside, but still probability down. We have sellers reasonably close by between 105.59 to 99.88, and we've got quite a way to go before we hit buyers down here at 80.47 to 77.83. Overall, probability down here for oil. With volatility, we'd expect oil to move up or down in 1 year by 53.14%. So in a day, 3.2 points. In a week, 7.04 points. And in a month, 14.65 points, either up or down. The next market is gold. So let's load that and scroll down here. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Let me just squidge this so we can see what we need to see. A little bit more. There we go. Now, just to highlight here about our coaching and support, we offer a lot of coaching and support online for free on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and places like that. So you can join us on those sessions. We also have a closed coaching community, which gives you access to more resources and live trading sessions. So check that out if you'd like to. Okay, gold. Thick blue dot, probability upwards here for gold. However, we have sellers that we are within right now. They are between 2015.1 to 1960.6. These sellers have already worked. So a little while ago, price came into these sellers and were pushed down. They've now come back up into the sellers. So what we have at the moment from the climate, pressure to the upside, buyers pushing up. But from these sellers, we will soon be having pressure to the downside. So we've kind of got a fight going on at the moment. Who will win? Who knows? No one knows who's got more orders, the buyers or sellers. So I would say we keep out of this. We let it clear its direction one way or the other, and then we go from there. No point trading something that we don't have clear directional probabilities on. Okay, so in terms of volatility, we would expect in a year a movement of 18.37%. So in a day, that's 22.66 points up or down. In a week, 49.88 points. And in a month, 103.83 points. Okay, the next market is the US dollar. So let's load this. So with the US dollar, we have a very similar situation. So we have a thick blue dot, probability upwards. We've got buyers down here between 97.85 to 97.295. They've worked once, twice, 3 times to push price upwards. That's why we want to know where buyers are, because it gives us an idea of where we should buy from. However, we have sellers that have recently come in and started to push price down. They are between 100.605 to 100.095. Price came in the other day and was pushed down from there. So similar situation. Climate pushing price upwards. Sellers pushing price downwards at about the same price. So not a clear direction in either way, meaning you don't have enough probabilities to call it. We move on. We do something else. In terms of volatility on the US dollar, we'd expect a movement in a year of 8.9%. So in a day, 0.56 points. In a week, 1.24 points. And in a month, 2.59 points. So that's the US dollar. Okay. The final market is backed Bitcoin. That's what we have here. And just to highlight here about our predictive options planner, otherwise known as TOP, that is our proprietary platform that, regardless of what you trade, has integrated apps that can help you out, specifically helpful for options traders. So check that out if you'd like. Okay, so with backed Bitcoin, we have a thick red dot probability there to the downside. Now, we have buyers here between 39,847.5 to 38,220 that if price were to come down and hit them, we would expect them to push price up, but we've got a little bit of room. We have sellers here between 47,317.5 to 44,345. Overall, we have probability to the downside and we have room until we hit buyers that could change it. So probability down there on Bitcoin. In terms of volatility on Bitcoin, we'd expect to move in 1 year of 65.35%. So in a day, 1,704.61 points. In a week, 3,752.52 points. In a month, 7,811.49 points. So that is all of our markets. For each of them, we've looked at market climate, which is the probability of where price will go, up, down, or nowhere. We've looked at where buyers and sellers are that could get in the way or change that. And we've looked at volatility, how quickly we expect the markets to move. The last thing to look at is our weekly economic calendar. We get this from fxstreet.com and we filter by high impact news. We want to know which scheduled news reports are coming out that could impact the volatility of the markets that we trade. So today being Monday, we actually don't have any news coming out today on our major world markets, but be aware that tomorrow, early hours of the morning, this is Eastern time, so 4 a.m. Eastern time, we may have some news coming out that affects European markets or the euro, and then we'll have some news later on in the morning that could affect the US dollar or US markets. But Bojan will cover that tomorrow. Any questions, you can email me or you can go to tradewithufos.com/Becky. You can come to this link here, get different platforms and apps, book one-on-one coaching if you'd like, or you can scroll down, log in for free and ask a question, or you may find somebody else has already asked that question and the answer is already there. Okay, so today being Monday, I will wish you guys a great start to your trading week. I'll catch up with you later on in the week and have a good trading day. Take care. Bye-bye.